This could be fairly volatile. I want to share with everyone kind of my developing process. Got a lot of criticism about grinding in the past, and I've been kind of figuring out how I wanted to do this, because I think that a file does give you some level of better chain versus grinding. I think it really does a little bit sharper. Now that doesn't mean, I think for me, a chain is always at varying levels of serviceability, right? There's the optimal bit, then there's the usable, and then there's the unusable. In a circumstance like this, where we're trying to do firewood, the wood all has dirt in it. Every bit of it's been laying on the ground. There's no sense in getting a chain insanely perfect, because the first time it gets in the wood, it's not perfect. I've been running short on time. My saws haven't been maintained since the last time we were here just a couple days ago. I need to just get a touch up on this. This one here is not real. I mean, it's bad. It's certainly needing a sharpening, but it's not like the teeth aren't obliterated. So I think we're going to be okay. What I'm going to do is you're going to see me just basically touch up real quick with this thing, and we'll be good. I don't care what you say, you can't hand file faster than that. This is a 28-inch full comp chain. It's just not going to happen. So are these teeth the sharpest you could possibly get? The answer is absolutely not. What I've been finding is I can go ahead and get this done, get this saw cutting nicely for firewood scenario. I could use a grinder on this one, a bench grinder. This one would have been a good candidate. This is only the second sharpening, and I'm not really getting it back far enough, to be honest with you. The right side was way worse than the left here. I think there's a big difference between firewood and falling, or firewood and enthusiast. The concept of having a pristine chain at all times is really nice, but it's not realistic. Now that might also be why ported saws are not perfect for everyone, right? Because if you are going to ask a lot of your saw by running it with an inoptimal chain, with a chain that's far from optimal, a ported saw might not be right. Just think, all these people are standing around waiting for me to sharpen, and I haven't even hand filed. I had to do 2 saws because, guys, I didn't have time. I couldn't get to this beforehand. Chris in the woodyard does not sharpen his chains like Buck and Billy Ray. There's no doubt about it. You can see it on his videos. Now the man cuts thousands of cords of wood. He knows what he's doing. But he's in a different scenario. He's in a different type of production environment than Buck and Billy Ray was. He's in dirty firewood, tree service wood. You know, I was thinking about the criticisms I've had when I'm sharpening with the Easy Do or whatever. People are like, that's no good. Or they're like, hey, all you need is 3 or 4 swipes. Is it because they're coming from the perspective of, man, we got to get going? We can't have 3 guys standing around waiting for the guy to get the chain like brand new out of the box? Because maybe, just maybe, that's unrealistic. Now, an enthusiast in their backyard, cutting cookies, setting up for races, testing different modifications on a saw or whatever, they might need to have a pristine chain. This is just what I'm thinking, everybody. I don't think you can tell me that a firewood seller making a living with firewood is going to have a razor sharp chain every single cut. Otherwise, he could be sharpening every single log or something, because some of them are real dirty. Now, of course, there's a line when you're not cutting, you're not cutting. But if you're throwing a little bit of dust, but you're still making headway, and the saw is not revving to the end of nowhere, could it be that that's just reality sometimes? Could it be that there's a purpose for a stock Echo 590, so that way you can just get through the cut and finish the day? Because otherwise you need 10 chains, or you're going to be sharpening for the entire day and still not get the work done. I don't know. Share what your guys' thoughts are on that. This could be fairly volatile. Now, when I want the best chain, what I've found for me is I'll use the Easy Do to get it back to pretty good, and then I'll take a few swipes with a file. The hard work was done with the grinder, and then the file finishes up. Now, today, I've got a wood splitter and my boys working behind me, and I need to get back cutting. I don't need to now take a hand file to this thing and try to make it perfect. In fact, some of these teeth are not even perfect, even after I ground on them, because if I did, I would take them back so far, they'd be way out. Interesting conversation, guys. Real world firewood, real world farm chores versus optimal, right? Is there a time and place for just basically leaning on the saw a little bit harder if she's cutting? Obviously, it's not as safe. Smooth cutting is always best, but at the same time, reality versus wants, right? I am also wanting to revisit that steel 2-in-1. Too many people say they have good luck with it. I have limited experience, and I want to know if I can master something like that and have it be an actual good usable tool. Just for example, in this circumstance right here, if I could have went through here, there we go, I'm done now. Could it have been a usable tool? I don't know. Get these warmed up. Go ahead and go to this wood pile and kind of clean up a little bit, because there's some logs that are a little too long before we start splitting.